What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Your So-Called Friends. And speaking of friends, if you guys listen to my podcast and you like the beats, it comes from this guy. Why don't you introduce yourself?
So, I'm first class like always. I make music, I make beats, I sing, I rap, I DJ. That's all I know, and that's all I do.
So he's gonna be today's guest. As you can tell, the scenery is different because your boy is in Puerto Rico. I've been planning this trip for a while, and I like to keep it 100 and honest with people, but it's like, I really love this place. I have my trials and tribulations, but I feel so inspired. But,
It is a very inspirational location. This is where reggaeton music originates from, and of course, this is where Bad Bunny is from, which everyone knows. There's a lot of artists that are from here, Daddy Yankee, and I could name a lot of them, but it is very inspirational. I really enjoy being here. I was here in 2019, and it was in the month of March. And when I was here, I was able to travel to multiple locations, some locations that we haven't been to together yet, but I'm gonna take you there. And yeah, it's a very chill and low key place. It's very low key, but for me these days it's been high key because I'm actually in the scene. I'm in the music scene around here, so it's very high key.
but you've been getting opportunities like a mug
Yeah, I know.
since being here.
Because I've been working hard. So it's 2023, so since 2019, I've been working my ass off to have these opportunities that I have now.
And you graduated college?
I did graduate. I graduated in 2022, December 10th. I got my diploma on the 15th, but it didn't come physically until the beginning of this month, which is February now. So it's been like 2 months since I graduated.
Do you feel like a different person since graduating? Because you've been in school for like 5 years, and now
I do.
free.
I feel like my mentality is different. I feel like my perspective is different, and I do feel like my life is different. I feel like everybody's life is different at this point. But because it's 3 years after the pandemic, and I think people are more comfortable. I still see people are scared. They're still living in fear. But I think people are more comfortable now to go out and do things that they weren't doing for the past 3 years. And I think that's why I have the opportunities now as well.
Because I think because life still moves on, people still got work to do, jobs to do, kids to take care of. And I know COVID has been really put a damper on society, and honestly not really in a good way.
Yeah, do you want to talk about what you were talking about before, since we're on that subject?
Yeah, because I feel like people complain for all the wrong reasons. Because we were just talking earlier about how when the world ends, how will people respond or react to it? And I think that people's priorities is set in the wrong place. A prime example, we had a sneak peek with COVID when everything was shutting down. And the main thing that people were complaining about was they couldn't go to bars, they couldn't go to gyms, they couldn't really go places. Not the fact that people are sick, people are dying, we need to chill and sit out with our families. No. Parents upset because they gotta spend time with their kids. College students upset because they can't go to the bars. I feel people's priorities is wrong. And the people who complain about wearing a mask, trust me, I hate wearing masks too. But I feel like you gotta pick your battles. Because at the end of the day, you do choose what's important to you and what's important to your society. But sometimes we just have to wake up. Like, is finding a mask really that important? Because if your right to breathe is that important, then George Floyd would still be alive. But I guess people's perspective is just different from most. But I mean, I can't like snap a finger and, tell people to wake up. It's just hopefully they will. But, like the song says, life keeps going and it will leave you behind if you can't keep up.
Yeah, and since being here in Puerto Rico, personally, I know this is different from what you were saying, but I just want to kind of change the topic, if that's okay. I've been having a lot of epiphanies. So I think the biggest epiphany that I've had was today when we were at the beach. We were at one of the most famous beaches in Puerto Rico, and I was swimming. It was the first time I had goggles on, because usually I just swim in the ocean without any goggles or anything for the water. But this time I had goggles on, and I was swimming through the water, and I was just looking what was in there. And I saw some fishes that looked very similar. I'm not really a biology person, but the fishes were there, and the fishes were trying to show me something. So I was swimming with the fishes, like it was a lot of them, and I was swimming with them, and they showed me like one little area, and I was like, oh, okay. But they kept circling around to that area. So I was like, okay, let me get out of this area, because it was blocked by rocks. So I went to the other side, and that's where I saw what they were trying to show me. They were showing me the coral reef. It was the first time I've ever seen a coral reef in my life.
What do it look like? Elaborate. Explain.
So the thing is, like, if you watch Finding Nemo, I know it's animated, or if you see Natural Geographic, it's supposed to be very colorful, right? But it wasn't colorful. What I saw was not colorful. It was brown and dark. And when I was swimming there were fishes that looked the same from the other fishes I saw. And when they saw me, they were scared of me, and they went under the rocks. And then I kept swimming along the coral reef, and I had seen, I thought I saw bright colors, but what it actually was trash. It was pieces of clothes, pieces of beer cans, pieces of just plastic stuck in a coral reef, moving up and down. And I got so scared.
So people from the beach and this trash
I don't know.
Follows down.
I don't know where it's
the
from,
water.
but it's us. It's us humans. And I got so scared that I had to swim back to shore, and I literally had to stand there and do some meditation and prayer to kind of shake it off. And I kind of apologized to the ocean and the creatures that live in the water, and I just had to be there for a little bit, and I had to reflect. I had a reflection. It was an epiphany. I had to reflect, and yeah, and that kind of made me think that in this life as humans, we don't have that long to live. If the ocean, I don't know, but if the ocean is looking like that and dying, that means we are a reflection. We're just kind of too ignorant to see the direction that we're going. But yeah, we don't have much longer to live in the way that we're living. Now, humans have been alive for, let's say, longer than 10,000 years, right? Forms of us. There's been different forms. If you take an anthropology class, you see that there's different forms of us. And the thing is, this society that we're living in, I don't know how much longer it can carry on at the pace that we're living. You know what I mean? A lot of us are not really caring about the environment any longer, and we're not caring about one another. So, who knows?
Yeah, I think the Earth is probably just gonna like have its cycle and just start all over.
I think so.
Everybody on Earth
I
is
think
gonna
our
die and
I
then
think our society
evolution again.
I think our society rises so high and then it collapses. And then we build again from the bottom. We go fucking into our natural state, which is being stanky as fuck and just not having the medical care and stuff like that. And then we build back up. And then all of a sudden we fall again. But I think it's a part of our evolution. We have to reach this highest vibration, which I don't think we've gotten to ever. But we're getting there slowly, some of us. And yeah, it's all about transcending and becoming the best version of yourself and getting to the highest vibration. But
What advice would you have for somebody that's trying to get to that point?
that nothing is perfect. And you're not perfect. But you can still work to become a better version of yourself. So, yeah, I mean, I'm only 23, so I don't have as much experience in this life. You're older than I am, so maybe you can give them some advice, but
I think people can give advice and doesn't matter of what age.
yeah.
Because I've learned a lot from 20-year-olds just as much as I learned from 50-year-olds. It's pretty much how they live life. And that's why I like doing this podcast, because I like to get other people's points of views and advice. Because you might have lived different than me. I might have lived different from you. There might be a lot of things that I don't know and you teach me, even though you're a lot younger.
Yeah.
But I still learn a lot from you, vice versa.
Yeah, we all teach each other something. We all learned our lessons. And I think that's one of the purposes of why we're alive, is just to learn, grow. But I think we're alive right now to experience the collapse of this society, and until maybe 2100, that's when everything will just be like on another level. I don't know what level, but on another level. Because obviously you see what's going on in the news. Like if you pay attention to the news, there's already water shortages and water crisis and stuff like that. So that's the next resource that humans are going to be fighting over, is water. And then after that, what else are we going to be fighting over? Food, land.
Territory.
That's what I'm saying.
How do you feel about being in Puerto Rico, though?
I feel like this is somewhere I was supposed to be in this time.
Because you've been making a lot of money moves since being...
I have been making a lot. I have.
So what is your plan or your goal?
To add value and leave a legacy and something where people will remember and experience, you know what I mean? Because I think this is only the beginning of where I'm supposed to be going. Because I've always had the vision of traveling the world and, you know, making music and working remotely. And I think it had taken this long to get there. Being 23, about to be 24 in 2 months, and getting to that point.
Do you feel because you had to wait till you graduated?
I think so. I think that was one of the tests to my ancestry and the universe. If I graduated, then I will be blessed with abundance and opportunities. And now I understand, like, graduation is not just about getting a job. It's about, like, status. You know, it's really about status.
It's kind of like not what you know, but who you know.
Not even that, but it's just status. Like, you graduated and you have status. You made connections which can possibly help you in the future, but you have status now. If you ever need to get to some place or get something done, you can be like, hey, I have proof that I have this skill and I've worked towards it. Whether it's your diploma or whether it's something that you've been working on, like I have my own business, licensing business. So it's just about having a portfolio and having something built for yourself. But like I said, when it comes to graduation, I think in society it's status. Like in the society, it's a form of status. So
I can see that.
you graduated as well. So
Yeah, I have.
you have status now. In the area that you stay at, you most likely have some type of status or some type of opportunities.
Yeah, that's why I said that earlier because, yeah, I'm super blessed and proud of myself that I graduated. But I think most of my accomplishments will be from the connections that I've made through school, not so much learning through school per se. I mean, I've learned a lot from school. I'm not saying I didn't, but with the vision that I have and all the things that I'm accomplishing, it's pretty much because of the people that I've met. And it just so happened that we met through school or through interning because I was in school, if that makes sense, you know? So I guess you can say it's kind of like a status kind of thing. Because I have so many cool ideas and gonna go back to the people that I've met in school, people that I had a personal connection with, and we're gonna get business done. A few people were hitting me up earlier, but it's like, baby, I'm in Puerto Rico. I will holler at you guys later. And they were all like proud of me and happy. They're like, dude, you're doing your thing, man. Hit us up when you come back. I want to work with you. And I was like, peace and blessings, I do as well. You will be the first person that I will contact when I land.
Congratulations to that.
Yeah, exactly. And with these people that I've met, you surround yourself with who you want to be, or who like-minded people, I guess, you know? I guess if you want to be a musician, most people are surrounded by other musicians. I'll use it as kind of like an example, you know? And with me, I want to really be in the contact game and really want to network with a lot of different types of people. And I've been meeting a lot of people who own their own companies, who own their own spots. And I like that how we find value in each other. So that's why when I'm releasing these podcasts, they listen, which I really thank you for listening from the bottom of my heart. And that opens doors and opportunities because I'm open for collaborations and so are they. So just like on a Rihanna thing, like you have friends, they like you, right? Tell them to come through. And this is why I started this podcast, Your So-Called Friends. Because who's supposed to tell you the truth? Your so-called friends.
I can't see what you want me to be. You're an enemy. All you do is envy plenty. I can't see what you want me to be. You're an enemy. All you do is envy plenty. I can't see what you want me to be. You're an enemy. All you do is envy plenty. I can't see what you want me to be. You're an enemy. All you do is envy plenty. You cannot play my position, it comes with a vision. Uniquely built, unlike all of you bitches. Building my wealth from them rags to the riches. Bought in the state, so I'm out of the trenches. Wish you could be me, but you couldn't travel the distance. Now I am pissing on all of you fishes. Looking out onto the sea. God has just spoken to me. Told me to travel and see. Showed me I'm totally free from all of the structures and boxes society's built. Lucky to witness the thrills. My cups have always been spilled. It still gives me chills when they crack in the seal. The pain runs so deep, now I'm lost in the fields. Reaching new heights and I'm making new deals. The legacy lives, there's a kingdom to build. I can't see what you want me to be. You're an enemy. All you do is envy plenty. I can't see what you want me to be. You're an enemy. All you do is envy plenty.
Welcome back. I had a little small little commercial break. Hope you guys really like that song. Make sure you go and follow First Class like always. And for my second guest, why don't you introduce yourself, homie?
My name is Frankie. I've been living in Puerto Rico for about 4 years now. I work at a restaurant named Celeste in Puerta Tierra in San Juan. I've been living here in San Juan for about 4 months, I'd say. I've been here since November. Yeah.
So, I have this thing where I'm trying to get over this whole shyness, and I never really liked Airbnbs because usually people are kind of like dickheads. So I was kind of nervous, but don't let one bad apple spoil the bunch. I was nervous coming to Puerto Rico because don't know how people are. I don't really speak the language that well or at all, but coming here, I've met some really cool people, and it really broadened my perspective of Puerto Rico. So what is your biggest concept of when it comes to Puerto Rico? Like, what do you think people think that's not true or people don't know about Puerto Rico?
And some people think Puerto Rico is almost a third world country. Like, some people don't even know that we're a U.S. territory, really. But nah, man, Puerto Rico is a hidden gem, in my opinion. You got jungle here, you got tropical beaches, you got nice mountain views, and what don't you have in Puerto Rico? And so it really bothers me when someone's like, oh, third world country this, third world country that, because it's just like any other place, man. Like, there's places that they got their cons and they got their pros, and Puerto Rico just happens to outweigh those cons. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous here in Puerto Rico. The people here are beautiful. Like, it's awesome.
Yes, this place is so beautiful. And I was like, wow, this type of stuff I see in postcards. That's why I'm super glad that I came here. For a friend and to help and to really just to travel.
Yeah.
And I came here and I have zero regrets.
Yeah.
And the place is really nice. I do kind of like have this thing where, like, why do you think people like trash beautiful places?
I think it's just because they haven't experienced it, man. Honestly, like they haven't. They're so stuck in their bubble, in their everyday life, and their, like their box. They just don't think more. They don't try to just, like, they don't try to like explore shit. Like, it's like it's very, very, very bad for you, man. Like, emotionally, like mentally, like, it's terrible. Like, you need to be able to broaden that range, be able to explore, be able to be informed on things. Like, you can't just think one thing and live with that thought forever. Like, it's just, you gotta expand those thoughts. You gotta expand the idea, get creative, start looking into things. Puerto Rico's gorgeous, but it's not just Puerto Rico. There's so many other places that still have not been, like, some people just won't go there because, oh, this and that. Mexico, for example, another gorgeous place, and people don't go there because, cartel wars or whatever. It's not the case at all. I mean, it's just like any other place. You got the cons and you got the pros.
You're from Florida as well, aren't you?
I'm from Florida originally. I was raised in Florida all my life, basically. I went to grade school, high school, middle school in Florida. I was born in Puerto Rico, but at like 3 months old, I was already gone. I was in Florida. Florida it got the worst of me. Like,
As everybody.
like, Florida, I got it bad, like, I was surrounding myself with people I shouldn't. I was just doing the wrong things. I was was really messed up. Like mentally, I was really messed up, like depressed, and just felt like this is the only thing that'll make me feel better.
So you think moving to Puerto Rico personally made things better for you?
For sure, 100%. When I got here, I tell everybody, it felt like I got a huge hug from the island. Like, we got you.
Yeah, because as we were discussing, even the cost of living is not really that expensive here compared to the other states in the U.S.
Exactly. The cost of living here is very cheap, depending where you're staying. You got Condado Dorado, which is more for the wealthy. You got Old San Juan and stuff like that. It's more for the wealthy. But there's so many places like on the outer parts, Rio Piedra, Carolina, Gurabo, Juncos, that are 15, 20, 30 minutes away from San Juan. And you're paying, who knows, maybe $900 a month for a great house, a huge house. You're paying maybe, I don't know, $600 a month with water and light included, fully equipped on a 2-bedroom apartment or something like that. There's great opportunities here to live in, for sure, like 100%.
Do you think tourism helps or break the whole aspect of Puerto Rico or any other type of tropical islands?
So I have a hate-love relationship with tourism because there's the bunch of the bunch of tourists that come to the island and just trash it. Not necessarily trash it, just like think they can come here and act very snotty and very douchey. Like, we don't play that here in Puerto Rico. Something that needs to be said. Like, we're giving you guys the opportunity to be able to come to this island passport free, to enjoy absolute beauty. Like, don't trash it, man. Don't treat us like shit. Like, we really, really appreciate this island. And there's also a good bunch of tourists that just appreciate absolutely everything in Puerto Rico. Like, everything. Food, people, nature, absolutely everything. And those are the kind of tourists that I absolutely love, like just like everywhere. It sucks. Like we were talking about earlier, 41% of this island is covered in Airbnbs. That's absurd.
Yeah, that was my next question. Do you think that's probably what breaks it? Because for locals, it's hard for them to find a place because it's surrounded by Airbnbs for tourism.
100%. And if I'm not mistaken, 3 people on this island alone own like 600 Airbnbs. That's just greed is what it is. It's greed. It's terrible for us locals. And that's why we fight so hard to try to make this island almost independent, because it's just not fair for us to have to go through this, to have to work so hard to try to get a place, to try to feed our families. With the amount of Airbnbs here on the island, it's almost impossible to do that. Like 41% on a tiny island, that's a lot of Airbnbs. Like a lot. That's way too much. And it's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
So, what is your hobby? You work at a restaurant?
So I work at a restaurant, like I said, called Celeste. Basically general manager, floor manager, whatever you want to call it. We sell wines. It's a seafood and wine bar. We mainly, work fish, oysters, stuff like that. And good wines, good quality wines. Something that you can't really find anywhere else. That's what we try to work with.
What advice do you have for people that want to travel but are on the fence about it?
Just do it. There's no other, like, how do I say this? There's no other way to do it than to just do it. Like, there's no other way to go about it than to just do it.
It's not like you can't find an Airbnb.
Jump the porch, man. Like, jump the porch. Trust me, it's gonna be absolutely great for you. Like, you're not gonna regret it at all. Travel, do what you do. I went to Amsterdam in 2016, and I've been dying to go back. It's like, just do it. You won't regret it.
So do you have any next steps while you're here in Puerto Rico?
Right now, I think I'm just gonna ride it out here in Puerto Rico at the restaurant I'm at, maybe for another year and a half, 2 years. And I would like to try and push a mobile sneaker shop. I would absolutely love to get limited drops in like a huge food truck kind of thing, but just shelves of sneakers. Like nice sneakers, something you can't really find at Foot Locker, something you can't find at Champs. You don't want to wait for them to come arrive at Go. You don't want to have the worry from StockX that if they're real or not. I want authentic, limited sneakers, like, and just go around the island, post up, and do what I do. Find the best places to sell those sneakers. The original investment, like to start it, is gonna be a lot, but it's gonna be 100% worth it. There's nothing like it around here at all.
What do you want the audience to know about you? If you could say anything to anybody, what would it be?
I like to, embrace my humbleness. I try to be as humble as possible. That's how I was raised. I was raised in a fantastic household, no doubt about it. My family just treated me with the utmost love and respect, but I always felt like I was missing more. Like as messed up as it sounds, I felt like I was missing more.
I mean, speak your truth.
Like, Pops wasn't there ever throughout my childhood. Like, Mom's was, just struggling with relationships. I just felt like there was just something that I needed. And then I started making my bad decisions. I started looking in a whole nother direction. And it, brought me off track as to who I really am, which is a humble, nice guy, who just enjoys conversations with other nice, humble people. I like to be informed about things. I love ingesting new information. I love it. Like, for example, the wines at work. And I love ingesting as much as I can, because at the end of the day, you don't need a degree for anything. It's just a piece of paper. Like, what's important is up here, straight up. And I didn't go to culinary school. I'm not a wine connoisseur, but I've learned, and I'm gonna keep learning, all without a degree. Like, I just want people to know that I'm the type of guy. I hated school personally. I felt like school was unnecessary. Not unnecessary, but some of the stuff they taught you in school was really unnecessary. Like how to write a check, they didn't teach you that in school.
How to do your taxes.
Your taxes, like stuff like that is stuff that they need to teach. A lot of lies in history class as well. Like, it's just information that was pointless to me. Of course, everyone needs to learn basic math and basic English and basic history or whatever, but history is not what it is really, like what they say it is. And that's who I am, man. I'm just a humble, nice guy, easygoing. Just try to flow, really. Just try to flow. I like nice people. I like humble people. I like people who like what they do, who know what they want to do, like stuff like that. And so definitely just be that. If you can be that, be that. It'll make your life 100 times better. Because I was on a dark path, a really, really dark path, and I lost myself badly.
Do you think you found yourself moving to Puerto Rico?
I think I found a lot of myself. I don't think I found myself completely, but I definitely found myself again. I never realized how, I go through my Snapchat memories and my Instagram memories, and just why? Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like, oh, what was the point? Like, you just look stupid and you look like an attention seeker. It was just terrible. So I definitely found myself. I learned a lot. I still have the same mindset. You know, I still had, I, I always look over my shoulders or whatever, but I do it intelligently. I don't need to post anything on social media. I don't need to. That's another thing. Social media, I feel like, has eaten a lot of us alive. Like, I feel like people need the not the authorization, the acceptance of other people on what they're doing, and it's just absurd. It's something that doesn't need to be done at all.
But yo, I really appreciate meeting you. And you are a really dope guy. And you really brought in my mind. I really appreciate taking your time out and being on this podcast.
Of course.
I really appreciate your time, man.
First podcast ever. No one can take that away from you. No one.
Why don't you plug in your social media so people can find you?
Yeah, so my social media, my Instagram is Javier Frankie. That's Javier, and then Frankie, IE, with 2 E's at the end. That's my Instagram. My Twitter is the same.
What you post on Twitter?
Just a bunch of nonsense. That's my mess around account. That's just a just in case. But my Instagram, I try to post nicest pictures I can. I post a lot on my story about the restaurant as well. And that's it, man. I just try to give people a good time when I'm on Instagram too. Post a few memes and stuff like that, just try to make people laugh. That's what I try to do. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for spending time with us. These people that I've met, the people that are in my lives, such as First Class Like Always, make sure you follow these people, man, because they have a story to tell and they're on the rise. And I really appreciate you guys taking time to listen to this. And I'm about to go enjoy life now.
Yeah, you already know what it is.
You guys should too. Deuces.
Deuces, man.
First class like always. Travel first class.